Television's most unbelievable hour starts right now with an exclusive event. Here is our very own Kelly Packard.
Thanks, Dean. I am so proud to be back here at my alma mater, Canyon High School in Canyon Country, California. We're about to witness something truly unbelievable. This man, simply known as the Master of Pain, a personal trainer who has dedicated his life to developing his body and mind to such an advanced degree that he claims he can tell his body not to feel the most excruciating pain. Okay, you're gonna pull a 3,800-pound SUV down this track, 50 feet. That's pretty impressive, but I have to say, though, that there's, a lot of strong men out there who are capable of that. So, what are you gonna do to add a Ripley's twist?
With the rope on my neck.
Okay, here's where it really starts to sound unbelievable. Okay, that rope isn't going around your neck, is it?
No, it doesn't go around my neck. I'm putting it through my neck.
Okay, so let's get this straight. You're gonna start by puncturing your neck with this surgical grade stainless steel tip. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay, and then you're gonna tie the rope around the rod and then a rope around the SUV.
Yes.
Are you ready?
Yes.
All right. Are you guys ready? This man has trained his entire life to do this. There are lots of arteries and veins in the neck. If he severed anything, he could bleed to death. We have paramedics standing by, so don't try anything like this at home. Oh my gosh! Okay, are you sure that you want to do this?
Yes, I can do this.
All right, are you?
It's a piece of cake.
It's a piece of cake. Okay, well, we're gonna count you down, okay?
Okay.
All right. Goodness. He's now putting the rope around the rod. Oh my gosh. Okay, I'm gonna stand over here. Okay, are you guys ready to count him down? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Oh my gosh. He's actually pulling this.
Yes, but the track is ended here.
Okay, this is incredible. And you know what? The Master of Pain just pulled a 2-ton SUV over 110 feet. And you saw it only on Ripley.
Tonight on Ripley's. Secluded in the Scottish Highlands lives part man, part myth, the ultimate chameleon. Ripley's reveals the secret world of the legend they call Leopard Man. The Ripley's World Tour stops to dine in El Salvador, only to discover a man who devours live venomous scorpions. What could be stranger? The reason he does it. A slip off a ladder sent this man falling 15 feet face first into a rod of rebar.
Been 31 years of practice, and I've never seen anything like this.
You won't believe what ER surgeons found floating inside his head. Plus, the scuba diving cat that can't get enough underwater adventure in tonight's Unbelievable Animals. And we'll show you just what goes on inside the most unusual treehouse in America. Only on Ripley's Believe It or Not.
There are plenty of shows out there that dare people to eat bugs, or even worse. But only Ripley's found a man who eats live scorpions every single day. he risks his life for the calories, not for the cash. A typical day for Rene Alvarenga begins with a walk through his farm. And although a lot of farmers worry that the local insects might beat them to the harvest, Rene doesn't have that problem. That's because Rene deals with his bugs in his own way. He eats them. And there's no bug Rene relishes more than the venomous black scorpion. Rene Alvarenga is from a small town in El Salvador, where he can often be found amazing locals with his unusual demonstration. An act that is made even more unbelievable considering scorpion venom can kill. First, he bites off their head, disabling their ability to sting. Next, he savors the insides, a flavor Rene compares to crawfish. And although Rene likes the taste, his real reason for eating scorpions is revenge. When Rene was only a boy helping in the fields, he was stung several times on the finger by a deadly scorpion. But instead of being scared, Rene vowed to conquer his fear by eating scorpions alive.
Entonces mi papá me dijo que no, que eso era veneno. Yo voy a ver si es veneno, le dije.
But Rene ignored his dad's warnings to stay away from scorpions. Today, at the age of 53, Rene's affinity for the scorpion has grown into an obsession, and even believes that his body is now immune to scorpion venom. Still, despite the danger, Rene says that he'll continue to eat these deadly creatures for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and savor every last bite, pinchers and all. Rene loves his scorpions. He's devoured over 30,000 to date, and he's still chowing down 3 a day. Now, Boys Clubhouse usually has a sign that reads, "Girls keep out." But Mark Madsen never posted such a sign. In fact, he does just the opposite, inviting many of the girls that he meets up into his treehouse for a sunset cruise in his truck. You'll see what I mean.
Mark Madsen is an inventor and car collector with a flair for the unusual.
I look at things totally different than the way other people look at them.
But when it comes to his amazing collection of one-of-a-kind cars, this old pickup towers above the rest, literally. Believe it or not, this truck is stuck in a tree over 30 feet high. Over the years, Mark's obsession with rare cars has grown to include everything from this explosive 1963 Ford Econoline street machine to this 1935 Graham Street Rod. Mark claims the motivation for his latest automotive creation came from simply looking up.
One day I was walking to work and I saw my truck and I looked at the tree and it was just like a light from heaven.
Mark's idea, create a unique treehouse by placing a classic '59 Chevy high in its branches. But he knew getting it up there wouldn't be easy.
I went up there, trimmed all the branches off, and kind of figured out how to do it.
He began by restoring the truck to its former glory. Then the engine and the transmission were removed. But at over 2,500 pounds, there was still no guarantee the tree would hold the weight. Mark recruited a friend with a crane to help lift the truck into position. Unbelievably, after hours of work, the men got the truck in place. But now Mark needed a way to make sure it stayed there. Sturdy 12-inch bolts and solid steel braces proved strong enough for the job.
It's my tree truck treehouse.
With its location next to a major highway, thousands of drivers see Mark's truck treehouse on a daily basis. And that helps to draw crowds from around the world to this lofty, one-of-a-kind creation.
Are you coming down?
But Mark's four-wheeled funhouse also serves as a dating test of sorts.
I would not date a woman that would not be able to get up in the truck. I'm going to be cruising around.
Mark's theory? If she can climb the tree, she's dating material. In fact, Mark met his girlfriend Jean under the tree. And although she passed with flying colors, she was a little nervous.
The first time I climbed up in the tree, I'll admit that my heart was pounding. But of course, I couldn't let Mark see that.
Now, Mark and Jean enjoy getting in the truck and getting away from it all, enjoying some beautiful sunsets.
It's a great place to take your girlfriend. It's because it's like a romantic getaway.
Mark almost lost his truck treehouse during a severe windstorm. He had to dump 25 tons of dirt on the top-heavy tree's roots to keep it from falling over.
Ripley's legally insane. We travel the globe in search of the most unbelievable laws to ever make the books. U.S. federal law. For years, Americans faced landing behind bars for attempting to have a close encounter with an extraterrestrial. That's because Congress passed the so-called E.T. law in 1969, prohibiting humans from going near any person, property, or life form that hails from a planet other than Earth. A stiff $5,000 fine and a year's worth of jail time awaited any citizen trying to make contact. Ripley's legally insane. It looks like snow, but you'll shudder when you find out what these people are skiing on.
That's caca right there.
The strange story behind this toilet sewage snow. Plus, what's so amazing about this woman's wardrobe? She made every dress and accessory out of thread from her head. And these baubles are all the buzz. That's because this jewelry is made out of living, breathing bugs. It's all straight ahead, only on Ripley's. You're watching Ripley's Believe It or Not.
Every winter, the Appalachian Mountains are transformed into a snow-capped wonderland. Skiers, snowboarders, and kids of all ages can't get enough of the fluffy white stuff. But believe it or not, some of the snow in these mountains doesn't come from where you think it does. Because what starts out here now winds up here outside the resorts.
All ski resorts, are concerned with being environmentally friendly, and this is another option that they may not know is available to them.
Over the last 2 decades, the sleepy resort-filled area around Maine's Carabasset Valley has grown to accommodate 400,000 winter sports fiends yearly. But more people means more problems. For one, all the extra visitors meant more human waste, and that put a big strain on the local sewage system. The problem was almost unmanageable until a couple of crafty engineers came up with a solution.
Here at the Carabasset Valley Sanitary District, we treat the sewage flow. After the sewage has received a secondary biological treatment, we turn it into snow.
The idea is simple. When a toilet is flushed, its contents now travel through a series of pipes to the treatment facility plant. Then it's treated in these machines. Finally, it's piped here, where the recycled sewage is frozen, killing any remaining harmful bacteria. Then it's a job for the snowblower.
Sewer snow is not put on the ski slopes for recreational use. People, I don't believe, would want to take their vacations and then find out that they're skiing on recycled sewage or wastewater. It's better suited as a treatment process in a remote location such as ours.
And although these hills of snow aren't part of any commercial resort, it's not uncommon to see people head down the road to play or ski on a freshly blown mound of sewage snow. But in this place, a wipeout means a real mouthful.
Took a nice little taste when I almost took a digger.
And?
I spit it out really quick.
Those in the know say the treated snow has a slight gray tint and is easily identified by locals.
That's caca right there.
And while you may even catch a slight ammonia odor if you're downwind, the snow is safe, clean, and believe it or not, actually helps fertilize local vegetation in the springtime.
Well, there is some nutrient quality in the wastewater, and you feed it to the grass. I think the people here will tell you that we can grow some awfully good reed canary grass here, 6, 7, 8, 9 feet high by the end of the summer.
While not everyone is crazy about the concept of recycled snow, local residents are proud to do their part in helping the environment.
I'm very much for the use of sewage snow on the mountain or to enhance any winter recreation sport, snowmobiling, skiing.
So remember, at least here in this conservation-minded town, the flush of today is the snowball of tomorrow. Believe it or not.
Amazing stories and unbelievable people. Iona Shanka is obsessed with her hair. But unlike most people, it's not the way it looks on her head that matters. It's the way it fits on her body. Because believe it or not, this 62-year-old woman uses her brown locks to make her own clothes.
Foarte mândră când știu că din corpul meu îmi aparține haina și o am pe mine.
Iona lives in Romania, and she began saving strands 47 years ago. After her grandmother told Iona, human hair was something to be treasured. Iona started by collecting the hair that was left in her comb. Then she began spinning it and winding it into a ball. After 8 long years, she finally had enough to make her first piece of clothing. The process is painstaking. Iona has to take the strands and carefully knit and weave the fine hairs together. It's taken her nearly 5 decades to make this complete outfit, consisting of a pullover, a skirt, a scarf, and a hat, all of which she proudly wears around town.
Curios, foarte curios.
Believe it.
The most inspirational stories we find are those about people who have triumphed over tragedy. Here's one person's unbelievable story.
Helen Smith is a well-known TV reporter, covering all types of stories in the UK. But what most viewers may not realize is that Helen is a quadruple amputee, utilizing the most high-tech and cosmetically perfect artificial hands ever created. Growing up in England, Helen Smith was a happy and active little girl. There was ballet, piano lessons, and the swim team. But in 1997, the day after Christmas, the life she knew ended forever. Helen became so violently ill, her family rushed her to the hospital.
The last time I walked on my own legs was when I walked down the stairs and got into the ambulance.
Testing revealed a rare form of meningitis, an infectious disease that can quickly become life-threatening.
It replicates very rapidly in the blood and causes blood poisoning.
Doctors were forced to amputate Helen's arms and legs. And after an intensive 6-month hospital stay, Helen was finally able to go home. Unfortunately, as this body casting made after her many surgeries reveals, it was with a radically different body.
You know, I'd walked into that hospital basically, and I went out without limbs to start my life again.
That's when Helen heard about Bob Watts, an orthopedic specialist with a reputation for creating electronic artificial limbs so lifelike they include fingernails, even hair.
In Helen's case, the cosmetic aspect of the artificial limbs was absolutely vital. It was my biggest challenge to date, to fit Helen with 4 limbs.
After receiving Helen's order, Bob took a series of measurements so he could match size and skin tone. Then he got to work. Within 2 weeks of placing the order, Helen was being fitted with the most cosmetically perfect custom arms ever created. So realistic, they even came complete with rings and a watch. Her arms took over a month to get used to, but soon she was able to drive a car and even use a computer again. Electrodes in the prosthetic limbs are stimulated by Helen's muscles. How they move depends on which muscles she flexes. Now Helen is able to excel at her job as a health and science reporter in the UK.
She's done everything that's been asked for and more.
Helen has even recently been fitted with new prosthetic legs. And though she's still learning how to use them, she can walk unassisted. Having restored her independence and ability to live alone, the new limbs also enable this quadruple amputee to take on new challenges. Even the intricate art of painting. Just one of the many things Helen's grateful for.
As for accepting it, I don't think that you ever do. But I suppose I've accepted it enough to carry on with my life because it's working out quite well.
A 3-foot rod went through his eye and out his cheek. And the fight to save his life would only get more bizarre by the minute. Also, this wife trusts her husband so much, she's about to let him take a running chainsaw to an apple in her mouth.
If the chain were to snap, you lose your head.
Find out why in tonight's unbelievable act. Plus, the scuba cat that's picked up some human swimming habits. And the human who's living out a cat-like existence in isolation. His amazing journey from lifelong military man to leopard man. Only on Ripley's. Ripley's World of Unbelievable Animals.
Most cats hate the water, but this calico from Redding, California isn't like most cats. Because believe it or not, Hawkeye's famous for strapping on the tanks as the world's only scuba diving cat. It began when Hawkeye's owner, Gene Alba, decided to find a way to combine his two passions, his cat and scuba diving. So he set about designing and constructing a one-of-a-kind feline-sized oxygen tank, harness, and breathing apparatus.
It was a challenge. It was quite difficult to put this gear together for Hawkeye to be able to scuba dive.
Once finished, it was time to test it out. Amazingly, Hawkeye took to her new underwater world without fear. In fact, Gene claims his kitty actually relaxes when she dives, easily staying under for nearly an hour.
She just hangs there and expects me to do the driving.
But Hawkeye's favorite dive partner isn't Gene, but her best friend, Muttley, the diving dog. The two swim together, eat together, and of course, after all that activity, Hawkeye and her canine friend enjoy nothing more than a little cat nap.
Ripley's Unbelievable Animals.
When you look at an X-ray of construction worker Dwayne Reynolds' head, you don't have to be a brain surgeon to see that there's something very wrong with the picture. That's because there's a piece of rebar lodged in his face. If you think the X-ray is graphic, wait till you see the hospital photographs. For construction worker Dwayne Reynolds, danger was just part of the job. But when a ladder he was standing on tipped, he fell 15 feet face first into a steel bar sticking straight up. And believe it or not, the impact caused 3 feet of the steel to pierce his left cheek and come out his right eye.
In 31 years of practice, and one of those years being in Vietnam, I've never seen anything like this.
Literally skewered alive, Dwayne waited in agony as the base of the pole was cut. Finally, he was rushed to the hospital. There, X-rays revealed an unbelievable situation. Dwayne's right eye socket was empty. The eye apparently gouged out or disintegrated during the fall. And the bar had missed his brain by only millimeters.
He could have been a quadriplegic if he would have gotten the spinal cord, or he could have been brain dead if it went on up into the brain area.
With no time to lose, Dr. Randall James and a team of surgeons immediately get to work. But the doctor cannot give Dwayne's girlfriend, Danielle, any guarantees.
He was really unsure as to whether Dwayne was going to even survive.
The first step of the operation is finding a way through all of Dwayne's crushed facial bones.
The bone where the rebar went through is almost tissue paper thin, and we could not find that bone to put it back into place.
Next, the procedure to remove the bar. But with its location so close to the brain, they need to be extremely cautious. Masses of blood vessels and nerves around the pole. One false move could leave Dwayne crippled or dead. For 3 hours they work, removing the steel inch by inch. Incredibly, despite teetering on the verge of death, the bar comes out. Dwayne's operation is over. But only time would tell if there would be brain damage. In the meantime, doctors begin the almost impossible task of reconstructing Dwayne's crushed face. But the bones are so shattered that even with plates and screws, they have a hard time getting the pieces to stay in place.
When you put a screw into a bone, it's not like putting it into wood, where it's going to stay there.
As doctors worked on his face, they made an amazing discovery. They found Dwayne's missing right eye.
One of the most amazing things that I've ever seen happen is as I was dissecting down here and relieving some of the pressure, the eyeball surfaced almost like a buoy coming to the top of the water.
For cosmetic reasons, doctors secure the eye back into the socket. But once in place, they're shocked when Dwayne's vision miraculously returns. The eye that doctors assumed was destroyed by the fall was actually completely functional. And unbelievably, just days after being impaled through the face by a steel bar, Dwayne leaves the hospital. Now, for the first time on television, he's ready to talk about his horrifying ordeal exclusively on Ripley's.
I amazed everybody. They expected me to be in ICU for a week or better, and I got moved out of ICU in 3 days. I went in on a Wednesday and I came home on a Monday.
And though he occasionally experiences double vision in his right eye, thanks to continuous rehabilitation, Dwayne's vision has returned to a perfect 20/20. While he still undergoes strenuous weekly therapy to stretch his facial muscles, Dwayne and his family are now more grateful than ever for every moment they share.
We feel lucky every day that we still have each other to live our lives with.
Doctors believe that they didn't initially see Dwayne's right eye because it had been pushed back into his nasal cavity.
He's performed more unbelievable acts than anyone alive. Now see why his devoted wife is about to risk getting her face chewed off for his latest caper. Plus, how one man built a high-tech mini-sub, all out of scrap metal. Also, the fascinating insect trinkets that come to life right before your eyes. And he survives secluded in a world of mystery without any modern conveniences. Ripley's reveals the spellbinding story behind the hermit known as Leopard Man. It's a demonstration of ultimate trust between a husband and wife. Believe it or not, this man is going to take a running chainsaw to his wife's face.
The use of a chainsaw up against my wife's mouth is the scariest thing I've ever had to do.
This is Jim Rose, and like his hero, Robert Ripley, he shares a passion for the strange and unusual. Though he now lives quietly in the tropical paradise of Hawaii, he spent many years traveling the world with a group he founded and called the Jim Rose Circus. These uniquely talented individuals pushed their bodies beyond normal function. Jim has performed more unbelievable acts than anyone else in the world, including razor blade eating and having his face smashed into broken glass.
I want to emphasize, don't try this stuff at home.
Now, in a demonstration of trust and nerve, Jim's wife, Bibi, will place her looks and her life in his hands. Jim will attempt to slice an apple with a chainsaw. That apple will be wedged in Bibi's mouth, where one twitch or a single sneeze could literally disfigure her face.
Open wide, my love.
Bibi bites down hard on the piece of fruit and waits anxiously. The rest is up to her husband.
If the chain were to snap, you lose your head.
The gas-powered saw's 70 razor-sharp teeth buzz as the chain moves at more than 13,000 RPMs. Jim strikes the apple and fails. He then puts a second apple in place, and then another, and another, again and again, coming within inches of his wife's skin. Bibi does not flinch throughout this agonizing ordeal. After swiping at 7 apples, Jim stops the chainsaw with a sense of accomplishment. At first, it seems like he is simply satisfied that his beloved Bibi survives without a scratch. But the apples reveal a second success. The roses make Ripley's history with a saw-wielding test of trust. Believe it or not.
Rumors were flying in a small town outside of Alberta, Canada, when a few locals reported seeing a strange craft floating in an old flooded quarry. Ripley's went to investigate, and you won't believe what we discovered.
Dale Heinzig may seem like your average guy, but what you'd never know from looking at him is that this unassuming Canadian could turn up anywhere, in any body of water, around the world. Because believe it or not, Dale owns the ultimate one-man underwater craft, and he built it with his own 2 hands. Dale has always been obsessed with these complicated underwater craft, and although he had no shipbuilding experience, a couple of years ago he decided to start making his own one-man sub.
Submarines were always in the back of my mind, and I just really enjoyed the thought of them.
First, using a set of blueprints, Dale began piecing together makeshift parts, and then carefully assembling them. Eventually, through trial and error, a submarine began to take shape. The labor-intensive endeavor took Dale 13 months to complete, at a cost of more than $8,000. But the question remained, would the one-of-a-kind submarine even work? Despite the risk of drowning should the sub suddenly take in water or capsize, Dale is ready to put his life on the line and attempt a test dive. Everything is going great until Dale hits his first major problem. And it's a big one. The sub won't submerge.
I made a slight miscalculation by 375 pounds and it wouldn't sink.
A failed attempt, but he is not willing to give up. After some weight modifications, Dale is ready to try again. He and a teammate load up the mini-sub and trek down to a water-filled quarry. Backing in slowly, the guys release the submarine and look on anxiously. The first few laps around the water prove successful, and without hesitation, Dale attempts to take the sub under. Slowly, Dale and his sub disappear below the water surface. But no one knows what will happen next. Still, Dale dares to take his sub even deeper.
It's quite an unusual experience, actually.
Dale's sub is a success, allowing him to dive deeper and last longer underwater than any diver could hope to.
I'm a certified scuba diver. This, to me, is the ultimate dry suit. It's a nice, warm, dry, comfortable environment to explore underwater.
Believe it or not.
Stories you can't imagine, people you won't believe.
Very few of us have the courage or conviction to get out of the rat race and run off to some secluded island. But of course, Ripley's found a man who did. The country of Scotland is well known for its captivating mountains and magnificent hillsides. But there is something strange hidden deep within this beautiful setting. Most people write him off to legend, but those who live near the Isle of Skye know that he's real. In an attempt to go unnoticed, he lives like a hermit in the woods. believe it or not, he's tattooed his entire body with leopard spots, making him the most tattooed man in the world. During his 28 years of service in the armed forces, Tom Leopard, as he now calls himself, was used to living by the Navy's rules. But when he left the service, Tom was determined to live life on his own terms.
I intended to be a monk, but I was too old. And decided that I'd be a hermit instead.
And over the past years, he's not only changed his life by living in seclusion, but he's radically altered his appearance. Starting with a single spot and then adding background color, 1 year and $7,000 later, Tom was covered from head to toe in leopard print.
I chose the leopard spots. Having seen a poster in a shop window in London, I thought it was quite colourful, reasonably easy to do.
But Tom wasn't only changing his appearance, he was changing his whole way of life. This 66-year-old man now lives alone on this island in a hut made of sticks and stones that blend in completely with its surroundings. He has no television, no phone, or other modern conveniences.
I didn't see the point in living the way ordinary people do, watching that one-eyed idle telly and then telling everyone else about it the following morning.
In fact, his sole means of contact with the outside world is this kayak. It's the only way in and out of Tom's campsite. And when he runs out of food, Tom has to occasionally take his kayak to the nearest village to stock up. But isolation does have its drawbacks. Tom has to depend on a whistle and a flare to draw attention in the event of an emergency.
We've got a fairly extensive first aid kit here. Anything other than broken bones and similar, I can cope with myself.
Still, Tom enjoys his solitude in the woods of Scotland.
This is the only place in the world, probably, where a person could live as I do. There's no poisonous insects, there's no dangerous animals. The water's pure.
He reads by candlelight, washes his clothes by hand, bathes in the river, and eats his meals, mostly out of cans. And while this may not be appealing to most, Tom Leopard, the world's most tattooed man, would not have it any other way.
I've got perfect freedom, as far as anyone can have it today. I haven't given anything up, I've gained. There's no ways I could live amongst ordinary people now.
Tom says that he's lost track of time and doesn't remember how many years he's been living on the island alone.
Next, how these unique jewelers are turning problem pests into mind-blowing pin-on pets. The story behind these creepy creations, next. Stories you can't imagine, people you won't believe, Ripley's Believe It or Not. Looking for that special one-of-a-kind piece of jewelry? The buzz is, this shop in Mexico is the place to go. That's because, believe it or not, this jewelry is made from living beetles. It's called Makesh, and this living artwork is the latest thing crawling around Mexico. It is here in the remote village of Hui that Luisa Pech's family is transforming these darkling beetles into living jewelry. In order for Luisa to create her one-of-a-kind bug jewelry, beetle hunters must first scour the countryside, searching for the little bugs in dead trees and bushes. Luisa buys the bugs and begins the jewelry-making process by first applying some non-toxic glue. Then she arranges some little gold rings on the beetle's back. Conveniently, these insects protect themselves by playing dead, so they're easy to work with. Next, a gold chain is wrapped along the bug's sides. Finally, Luisa adds decorative stones, completing a living work of art. And amazingly, these decorated beetles live for about 2 years.
Pues a mí me parece muy bonito. Es un animal muy bonito, una atracción muy bonita.
For those looking to wear something a little lively, single bug brooches are sold for about 60 pesos or $5 US. From the reactions our model receives sporting Luisa's living creations, people just can't seem to keep their eyes off of them. Believe it or not.
Here in the Ripley's vault, all of the artifacts are thoroughly checked for authenticity. This is not a plaster prop. It's an actual mummified head found over 1,500 years ago in Turkey. This priceless artifact comes complete with original teeth, eyelashes, and, yep, real hair. Unbelievable? Believe it.
It seemed a perfect place to grow up. But behind closed doors lived evils so unspeakable, no one dared cry for help. Modern Family's Nolan Gould.
Bro, you're hurting me! Ah!
In the Chiller original film.
Help me!
You shouldn't play where you're not invited. Gould. World television premiere Friday at 9. Only on Chiller. Scary good.